No Milito, no Eto'o. I was really in trouble, and Mario was the only one. Mario gets a yellow card in minute 42, 43. So when I go to the dressing room at halftime, I spend, I would say, 14 minutes of the 15. I was spending 14 minutes speaking only for Mario. Mario, I cannot change you. I cannot make a change. I don't have a striker on the bench. Don't touch anybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Cross the lance for Fury. Oh, God, down goes One Fury! Mamma mia! Deontay Wilder has done it! Knocking down Fury about 12.
It's a clean start and what a race. A huge roar from the expectant crowd. Great start from Coleman, we expect that. Can Lyles come through? It's very, very tight. It's Noah Lyles! The champion roars once more. Tebogo ran really well on the far side, but it's Noah Lyles. Shericka Jackson, is she just going to do it? Oh, on the near side, right at the end. They were getting ready from nowhere in lane 9. It's an incredible performance from Sha'Carri Richardson. Richardson came through like a rocket.
Game on once again. This time it's the outside line. Oh, they make contact. He's got a puncher. He's damaged his front wing. The leading contenders for the World Championship come together at turn 3. The crowd can't believe it. Verstappen and...
Ahead to Curry. Curry sets, fires, puts it up. Bang! Steph Curry from way downtown. And the first half comes to an end in dramatic fashion. Green.
Ronaldo! Oh, he wouldn't do it again. He surely hasn't done it again. He has just gone and done it again. Immens Messi, encara Messi, encara Messi, encara Messi.
Hello, good morning. It is a lovely Saturday morning in the capital, and you are welcome to the Weekend Sports Rally. My name is Lukman Evergreen Moomin, and we have a lot for you in stock with regards to sports. Now down here, there will be a lot with regards to the Ghana Premier League. Now 3 more games to go in the Ghana Premier League. 4 teams are in the running to be crowned champions, while 1 team will join Legon Cities and Nsukriman FC to the Division 1 League. We will be assessing the chances of the clubs who could win the Ghana Premier League, and of course we would also be looking at the intricacies to stay in the top flight league. Well, yesterday, Accra Lions were dealt a huge blow in their game against Accra House of Oak. How does that affect their chances of staying in the Ghana Premier League? We will be looking at that one. Meanwhile, fans of Manchester United are still reeling in pain from Europe, while supporters of Tottenham Hotspur celebrate their first major trophy in 17 years. Well, they are calling it the year of the beds. So if you don't have a bed in your batch, go look for a bed and place it in there. For once, the Bears conquered the Red Devils. will delve deep into the horrible campaign of Manchester United. And if possible, we will provide an autopsy report of their demise to their fans. Yes, my guys in the studios are bent on going deep into the matters with regards to Manchester United. If you're a fan of Man United, it is going to be a hard show for you to listen, but then you have to, because we have all the answers to what is wrong with Manchester United. And later on the show, we will look ahead to the final day of the English Premier League with a lot of attention on the top 5 places. Remember, for Liverpool and Arsenal, it is done. They will be playing in the UEFA Champions League next season. Tottenham Hotspur used the back door to play in the competition next season, but then Chelsea, Manchester City, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa and Newcastle United will all be fighting for a place in the competition next year. So tomorrow is the D-Day for these clubs. Like I said, we'll be doing a lot when it comes to Man United. We'll be looking at that team so much today. And so on our top 5 today, the question is very simple. Which 5 players do you think should leave Manchester United? Throughout the week, I've had calls telling me that they want Anthony to leave. Some are saying that it's time for Garnacho to leave, especially after his remonstrations after that game against Tottenham Hotspur. Others are saying that let's keep Casemiro and then maybe Bruno Fernandes should leave. And so I'm asking you, it is very simple. Just give me 5 players you think should leave Manchester United. My pundits will definitely be giving me their 5. And you can do that by joining us on social media. On Facebook, you can join us on ZFMGH. We are streaming live. And of course, on WhatsApp, you can send your messages via the number 0544321019. 0544321019. Of course, it is a packed show this morning on the Weekend Sports Rally. I already have 2 of my guys here. Of course, Jonathan Bensua is with us on Z Sports. He will be giving us the games that will be coming up in Europe. Some of the competitions are done with. Yesterday, Napoli were crowned champions of Italy. Well, I'm super excited for one player in particular. Scott McTominay. Well, they say the stones that the builders reject shall become the cornerstone. And he went to Italy to become the cornerstone of Napoli. Can you believe he was the Serie A player of the season, ahead of the likes of Lautaro Martinez? And Man United let a player like him leave. Yeah, so we'll be looking at the games that will be coming up in the Italian Serie A. Those 2 games with regards to Inter Milan and Napoli had to be played earlier because Inter Milan have the UEFA Champions League final to deal with. But then the final round of games will be coming up this weekend. There will be games in England as well. Well, without wasting much time, let me just bring in my guys in the studio. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, how are you doing, Jonathan? For you, I mean, it's been a successful season for Barcelona, and so the celebrations are still ongoing.
Yeah, so I'm feeling very, very good. You know, the weather here in Accra is not the same weather in Spain, but I know my boys are still celebrating. I'm very happy.
Maybe the weather down here is even better than that one in Spain.
Yeah, our next B club too won. You know, they won their trophy in the first.
No. I like the way Barcelona are dominating in Spain. They won the Women's League.
Yeah.
They won the Men's League. The youth sides are also winning.
And today too, the feminine side, the UEFA Women's Champions League against Arsenal.
Yeah.
So in Spain we are conquering, but you see in England, our Annex B this season didn't go so well. They went trophyless. they are just suiting themselves with Carabao Cup. But our annexee in England this season was able to win a trophy. They won the Europa League 2 nights ago.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'm very happy.
I can see that because the way you are buzzing in the studio this morning, it tells a lot. Teddy, welcome to the show. We missed you for like 2 weeks, right?
Yes, please. I've been involved in a car crash, so I had to.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And you never told any of us.
I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. But thank God I'm still now strong and
Chelsea fans and recovery.
Yeah.
More than Romeo Lavia.
Oh, no. So I'm happy to be back on the show.
All right. Okay. Well, Jonathan, the games for the week, do you have them ready?
Yes.
Just run us through some of these games.
Yeah, so the major European leagues in Europe already, the Italian Serie A was decided last night with 2 fixtures from Napoli beating Cagliari by 2-0, and also Inter Milan were able to beat Como by 2-0, but was not enough to overtake Antonio Conte's men, as the city of Naples were just celebration and full of joy after Romelu Lukaku and also Scott McTominay were able to get them that 2 goals against Cagliari. But already the French Ligue 1 ended last week, so today and Sunday there will be no French Ligue 1 fixtures. In the German Bundesliga too, there will be no fixtures, but the Italian Serie A will be giving us 2 fixtures today. 4 p.m. AC Milan will be playing against Monza, whilst Bologna will also be playing against Genoa. Apart from that, in the Spanish La Liga today, final fixture, Real Madrid will be playing against Real Sociedad exactly 2:15, and this game at the Bernabeu will be a farewell game for 2 of their most promising and also big achievers. Luka Modric, the most decorated player in their history, will be delving deeper into that story, will be playing his final game at the Santiago Bernabeu, and not only him too, Carlo Ancelotti will be managing his final game as the manager for Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Espanyol will be playing against Las Palmas. That's the relegation battle. The Las Palmas are already relegated, but Espanyol will need a win to stay in the Spanish La Liga. Leganés versus Valladolid. The 2 sides were also battling relegation. Valladolid are already down there in the Santander B next season, but will Leganés be able to beat them to climb up the top of relegation zone? Alaves will be playing against Osasuna, whilst Getafe will be playing against Celta Vigo. Rayo Vallecano will be playing against Mallorca. These are the fixtures on Saturday. And also on Sunday, the English Premier League will be wrapping up the run-in. All the fixtures will be played simultaneously 3 p.m. Bournemouth will be hosting Leicester City, whilst Fulham will be playing against Manchester City. Ipswich versus West Ham United. Liverpool will be playing against Crystal Palace, whilst Manchester United will have something to defend. Will it be the batch or a slot above relegation zone, as United will be playing against Aston Villa, whilst Newcastle United will be playing against Everton. Nottingham Forest and Chelsea will be facing off the battle for European slot next season. That game will be a decider for Chelsea and Nottingham Forest. The Arsenal will be playing against already relegated side Southampton, whilst Tottenham Hotspur will be celebrating happily but playing that game against Brighton and Hove Albion at their stadium. Wolverhampton Wanderers will be playing against Brentford. In the Italian Serie A on Sunday, Atalanta versus Parma. Empoli will be locking arms against Verona, whilst Lazio will be facing off against Lecce. Torino versus AS Roma. Udinese versus Fiorentina. Juventus will be playing against Venezia. So these are the fixtures on Sunday and also on Saturday. The German Bundesliga was over, but on today, Arminia Bielefeld will be playing the GFB Pokal final against Stuttgart, and also the Coupe de France will be played between Stade Reims versus Paris Saint-Germain. So these are the fixtures we'll be having in Europe for the major European leagues. Look, man.
Well, not so many matches in Europe this weekend because some of the European leagues are done and dusted with. So for now, what I can tell you is that in England, the champions are Liverpool. In Spain, the champions are Barcelona. In France, the champions are Paris Saint-Germain. And in Germany, of course, Bayern Munich are the champions of Germany. And now in Italy, Napoli have been crowned champions after a successful season under coach Antonio Conte. Well, we cannot talk about only the European leagues, but then we also have to look at our own Ghana Premier League. We'll be talking a lot about the Ghana Premier League because there are teams that will be winning the Ghana Premier League, but then it will go down the wire. Yesterday, Accra House of Folk defeated Accra Lions by 3-1 at the Accra Sports Stadium. On Sunday, Aduana Stars will be taking already relegated Legon City. BBN Gold Stars and Kumasi Asante Kotoko will face off in what could be a title deciding game. BBN Gold Stars are second on the Ghana Premier League and Kumasi Asante Kotoko are third on the table. The two teams are separated by only 2 points, and BBN Gold Stars are just a point behind league leaders Nations FC. Talking about Nations FC, they will be facing FC Samatex in Kumasi on Sunday. Vision FC will be facing Karela United in another battle of survival. Dreams FC are up against Brekum Chelsea. Young Apostles will be playing Heart of Lions, and Vichem United will be up against Baseke Holy Stars. We'll begin our discussions with the local league, but then yesterday, game 2 of the Eastern Conference final in the National Basketball Association happened in New York. Well, for fans of the New York Knicks, it's not going well at all. They lost to the Indiana Pacers 114-109. Cameroonian basketball star Pascal Siakam scored 39 points to lead the Indiana Pacers to Game 2 victory. Game 3 and 4 will be happening in Indiana, and wins in those games means Indiana Pacers will be through to the finals of the NBA. Meanwhile, in the Western Conference final as well, the Oklahoma City Thunders have beaten the Minnesota Timberwolves and are leading that series 2-0. But then the interesting part is that the OKC played game 1 and 2 at home. Well, the show hasn't even yet officially rolled, but then there is one comment on Facebook which is quite interesting. He says that his name is Bajimba Kofi Virginia. He says Manchester United should be relegated to the Ghana Premier League. They don't deserve to be in England. You these people. What at all has Manchester United done to you guys? Bajimba Pan Awatuama. Manchester United like that. Oh, Marvin is in the studio. Marvin, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Lukman.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Good morning to everyone and our listeners, and good morning.
Okay. For Liverpool fans, the celebrations continue. Tomorrow is the last day, so what are you guys doing?
It's going to be a very excellent day, and at home in front of our fans against Palace. Mm-hmm. And I just hope a win. We could have gotten 94 points, but then we've dropped so much points. We've been on 83 points. We lost our last 2 games. And then, but it doesn't really matter. We've won the league. And then I just hope tomorrow the boys can do it against Palace. Oh. Just a win. And we celebrate in front of the Copper.
Well, do you know what that game means?
It's going to be a great game because Palace also on the back of winning the FA Cup. Yeah. And 2 exciting clubs. One has just won the FA Cup and one has won the league. And then we'll be meeting at the Community Shield.
Exactly. That was exactly what I was coming to. So it's like the final game of the season is actually the first game
of next season.
Next season. So we will
the Community Shield is not really considered as a major trophy like that.
But then from what Pep Guardiola said last week, we might start have to consider the community. Because he is counting that trophy as well.
Exactly, just as that. For me, I count that trophy as a trophy, but well, I don't know why the English FA or maybe the people in charge of that don't really consider it as a major trophy. But all in all, it's a major trophy to me.
Anyways, welcome to the show. Now, we begin with the Ghana Premier League. It's been very, very interesting this season. Apart from the fact that Nsawatreman FC pulled out of the competition, down there has been quite interesting, and up there has also been very competitive. Now, as we speak, 4 teams can win the Ghana Premier League. There is Kumasi Asante Kotoko, there is Nations FC, there is Heart of Lions, and there is also BBN Gold Stars. I mean, Jonathan, you look at the competition this season, and you look at all these 4 teams participating to be crowned champions of the league. How do you think it will be panning out? Because, look, we'll be taking the games one by one, but then just generally from that top 4 competition, which team do you think is favorite to win it, and which team do you think will be following up, maybe 2nd, 3rd, and then 4th place?
I think the Ghana Premier League title will be settled between BBN Gold Stars and Kumasi Asante Kotoko over the weekend. So that big game, if Kotoko wins, they will be able to overtake BBN Gold Stars on the standings, because BBN Gold Stars have 56 points, Kotoko have 54, 2 points gap. So if BBN Gold Stars manages to get a win ahead of Karim Zito's Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they stand a bigger chance of winning. And the other club that we have to, take very careful is Samatex. They'll be playing against defending Nations FC will be playing against Samatex. And if you look at the form guide of Samatex this season, they are not doing so well. But as we speak, Nations FC are on top of the Ghana Premier League. After scoring 37 goals, they are the only side in the Ghana Premier League to concede only 16. They've scored 37 and they've conceded only 16 goals. And talking about Nations FC and their solidity, how solidified they are at the back, the name that comes to mind is Razak Simpson. They are very reliable defender for them. So to me, I see Nations FC pulling through to even win the Ghana Premier League, because as of match day 31, they are the only club to concede the lowest number of goals in the Ghana Premier League. They are the only side with 57 points. BBN Gold Stars and Kotoko, due to the tension and the intensity of that game might even end in a draw. And a draw won't help BBN Gold Stars nor even help Kumasi Asante Kotoko. So Nations FC, what they have to do is just focus on their game against Samatex and maintain that top spot. So the end, we have 3 games more to go to end the Ghana Premier League. They'll be playing against Samatex. After Samatex, Nations FC will be facing off against Basake Holy Stars and also Heart of Lions. And the thing here is the Heart of Lions are also in that chase for the Ghana Premier League. Third on the league log is Heart of Lions with 54 points. So the final 3 fixtures for each of the clubs in the top 4 are very crucial. Yesterday, Hearts of Oak were able to beat Lions by 3 goals to 1. Surprisingly, nobody thought Hearts of Oak are going to get that win against Lions, because Lions also are in their need of the points to survive relegation.
Hearts of Oak are not really in the title race.
Hearts of Oak to me are not really in there, because after match week 31, Hearts of Oak are fit with 52 points. So even if they win match week 32, match week 33 and 34, what's the guarantee that Nations, BBN Gold Stars and Asante Kotoko are going to drop points?
So Nations needs just a win or even a draw to
maintain that spot.
Yeah, to even keep Hearts of Oak out of the league race totally, because before yesterday's game, Hearts of Oak were 8 points behind Nations FC, and so Nations FC could get 1 point, and then with 2 more games remaining, there is no way.
Abubakar Ouattara, maybe the top 4 finish will be what they are chasing, because if you look at the standings as we speak, I don't see it happening that Nations FC will be drawing against Samatex, Kotoko will be drawing against BBN Gold Stars, and then Heart of Lions will also be drawing against Basake Holy Stars. That will be very difficult to predict. So I see Nations FC maintaining their spot out there, because being the top club in the Ghana Premier League this season, conceding the lowest amount of goals, should tell you how defensively good they are. And they have defensively good players also who are making it happen for them. Razak Simpson being the heart of the defense for them is one thing that we should recommend for even the national team, because he's that guy. And we've seen his output in the national team for once. So to me, the Nations FC, if they are to able, I mean, they will be able to maintain their composure, how they play. Because at this juncture, Heart of Lions will be coming there. BBN Gold Stars having a game against Kotoko will be a decider for the two clubs that which of them will even finish second or even be able to clinch the Ghana Premier League trophy.
And more or less, the game is being played at the
BBN Gold Stars room. Yeah. And if you look at BBN Gold Stars, in their last few matches against Kumasi Asante Kotoko playing against BBN Gold Stars, we have to expect something, because in their last few matches, Kotoko won. In their last 5 matches, Kotoko have won 2. BBN Gold Stars have managed a single win, and the other 2 fixtures ended in a draw. Kotoko were able to beat BBN Gold Stars only at Kumasi. So Kotoko playing away to BBN Gold Stars tend to find very difficult to grind results. But they are playing again with a manager who always knows how to maneuver results at the dance park in BBN, and that's Karim Zito. And if you check the record of Karim Zito after taking over as an interim manager for Kotoko, in his last 4 games, they are yet to drop, defeat. So maybe that's the probability. Their worst at Dance Park will be a draw. And if they draw, it will affect BBN Gold Stars in the chase against Samatex. So I see Nations FC rather maintaining their spot even after match week 32.
All right. Let me just bring Teddy in. Teddy, I mean, you look at Nations FC, it looks like they could go all the way to win the league. But then the chasing pack, first of all, you have BBN Gold Stars, who are second on the table. Now, BBN Gold Stars are playing Kumasi Asante Kotoko tomorrow. Their next game after Kumasi Asante Kotoko will be a trip to Brecum Chelsea. After that game, the next game will be the match, or their final game of the season will be against Accra Lions. You look at these 3 games, do you think that BBN Gold Stars have what it takes to, provide that competition for Nations FC, and then maybe end up winning that league title, that elusive first league title?
Yeah, so before that can be done, tomorrow's game is the first test they have to pass, because I think they are playing at home, even though the arrival of Coach Karim at Kotoko has been impressive for the club, but where the title race is going now, the top 3 or the top 4 teams all have to keep winning momentum. They don't have anything to lose, and for BBN Gold Stars to keep pushing for the title, I think tomorrow's game against Kumasi Asante Kotoko is something they have to work on. If they are to get that 3 points, I think they can go all out to grind the rest of the games.
So the thing is, after that Kumasi Asante Kotoko game, they will be traveling to Brecum Chelsea, which is another tricky game. The final game will be against Accra Lions, which with the kind of home base support that they have and their dominance over Accra Lions, maybe that could be a win for them. And so you think that game against Kotoko is the decider?
Is the decider, because if they are to lose, I don't think they can. They are going away, right?
Yeah.
To Brecum Chelsea. So what they have to do is to first tomorrow get the 3 points against Kumasi Asante Kotoko, which is not going to be an easy thing to do, because Kotoko are also in the title race. I think they are 2 points or 3 points from the first team. So Bibiani has a lot to do when it comes to the game against Kotoko. So I think they should take tomorrow's game serious, because tomorrow's game can, bring some kind of morale and courage into the camp for them.
Well, let's move to the next team after BBN Gold Stars, and that is Heart of Lions. Heart of Lions are also in the running for the title. Now, Heart of Lions will be playing Young Apostles on Sunday. After that game against Young Apostles, they will face Brecum United at home the following week, which is the 1st of June. And their final game of the season will be a cracker. It is a game between them and Nations FC. Wow. And so this could be an ultimate finale. Now you look at that game, Jonathan, you look at that particular game, and you look at the other games that we've mentioned. You look at Nations FC, you look at BBN Gold Stars. Don't you think that Heart of Lions have the most trickiest path to winning the league?
Yes, they have one of the difficult paths, because if you be playing against the man on top at the moment, Nations FC. So the Ghana Premier League in this way, you see, if this is happening somewhere in Europe, we will see they've been able to get all the fascinating fixtures and the interesting liners during the end of the season.
Well, nobody would have predicted.
People have to pay attention to the Ghana Premier League this season.
I like the way it's
fixtures are not going to be played against teams that are aiming for top 4 and teams that want to survive relegation.
Yeah.
The remaining 3 fixtures for each of the clubs in the top 5 as we speak, most of them will be against their own contenders in the top 4. And most of them are chasing the Ghana Premier League title. So you look at Hearts of Oak. I don't think Hearts of Oak will sit there for even Kotoko to clinch the Ghana Premier League. Although they won't be playing. But based on their fixtures and the points that they will get, it will determine that.
Well, for Hearts of Oak now, they are not going to be playing Kumasi Kotoko. They've already played that. And so I don't think they will really come into the conversation.
Nations FC, Heart of Lions, and then BBN Gold Stars and Kotoko. These are the 4 clubs. Nations will be playing Heart of Lions. Kotoko are playing BBN this weekend. Kotoko will be going to Bechem. Boss, supercomputer can't even predict the Ghana Premier League.
The Ghana Premier League, sure.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you spoke about Kotoko. Now let me just look at the fixtures for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. So the last 3 games for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Of course, tomorrow they will be playing BBN Gold Stars. Asante Kotoko will then travel to Midyama. No, they will be hosting Midyama at the Baba Sports Stadium. So that is a big game per the Ghana Premier League. And then on the final day, they will be playing Vision FC, who are also battling survivor. So it will be an interesting game because at that point, Vision FC wouldn't be very clear about their survivor. Kumasi Asante Kotoko also wouldn't be very clear about their title winning credentials. And so it makes it quite fascinating. So let me just, to round it up here on the chances of the teams that can win the Premier League. Jonathan, let me start with you. Which team do you think will be winning the league?
I'll go for Nations FC.
You go for Nations FC?
Yeah. And the reason is they have the best defensive setup. And in the Ghana Premier League, if even you can't score, one thing is that the other grounds where you are waiting for results to channel out, that seems to they can't find the back of the net. So the best thing to do is defend, don't concede a goal. And I know Nations FC at this juncture, by now, with their manager, all they are thinking about is focusing on their games and also getting their results. So Nations FC on top of the Ghana Premier League after scoring 37 goals. They are one of the side. They are the 3rd side to score most goals in the Ghana Premier League, and they are on top. You can check the standings and also the top scorer as we speak. Nations FC have faced Al Chawati in the top scorers chart with 11 goals. So clearly that will be a push for them. They have to aim for that. They have to go in all for even the top scorers chart, because if Faisal Chawati will be chasing that golden boots, then technically his goals will push Nations FC to maintain their spot on top of the Ghana Premier League.
And recently, Emmanuel Ano has been one guy who's been on good form for them. Apart from the fact that he went to post, he wore that I Belong to Jesus t-shirt that attracted him a fine. But then one day we'll definitely be talking about that on another day. But then let me just move to Teddy. Which team do you think will win the league from the matches that we've gone through and from the permutations that are available?
I think I also side with Jonathan. I think Nations have the upper hand to win the Ghana Premier League. I was about to say one team that will pull through as a surprise will be Heart of Lion, but because of their away game, they'll be playing at Brekum. Because of their away game, they'll be playing at Brekum. And I think they have Nations as their last game.
No, they will actually. So these are the last 3 games for Heart of Lions. They are playing Young Apostles tomorrow on the road. And
Young Apostles are trying to survive.
And then they will be playing Bechem United in the next game, which is on the 1st. So, and that game is at home. And then their final game will be against Nations FC. So maybe if you may be referring to that Nations FC game.
So I think still Nations FC stand a chance, the greater chance to win a Ghana Premier League.
So that game is actually in Kumasi, so it's a home game for Nations FC.
Nations FC.
All right, but then Marvin has not spoken. I want to pick your mind on which team you think will win the league.
To me, I also side with you. I think Nations FC are going to win the league.
How confident are you guys about this Nations FC?
With how this season's league is playing, I just feel like Nations FA are going to win it. With all that Jonathan said, with all that Teddy said, I side with them.
Not with what you said.
I really side with what Jonathan said,
Okay.
but I feel like this season's Ghana Premier League has played out very well.
Okay. All right. Now let's look at the table itself. So as we speak, Nations FC are top of the table with 57 points. They are followed by BBN Gold Stars, who have 56 points. Heart of Lions are in third place with 54 points. Kumasi Asante Kotoko are in fourth place with 54 points. And Accra House of Folk follow in fifth place with 52 points after beating Accra Lions yesterday. FC Samatex are up again. They are in sixth position with 48 points. Mediama SC are in seventh place with 47 points. Bechem United are in eighth place, followed by Dreams FC in ninth place. Adriana Stars are in the 10th position. Brekum Chelsea follow in the 11th position with 41 points. Baseke Holy Stars are in 12th position with 37 points. Young Apostles are also in the 13th position with 37 points. Vision FC have 36 points in 14th position. Karela United are 15th position with 35 points. Accra Lions are also in 16th position with 35 points, but then Accra Lions have played a game ahead. Legon City is already relegated, have 25 points, and in Nsawatreman FC, we all know how they exited the competition following that unfaithful happening in Nsawatre, where a fan lost his life. And so that is the table for you with regards to the Ghana Premier League. Well, we've spoken about the teams that could win the league. Now, Jonathan, let's look at the teams that could be relegated as we speak, from the 13th position to the 16th position, where you have Young Apostles with 37 points. In fact, from the 12th position, Baseke Holy Stars have 37 points. Young Apostles have 37 points. And then you also have Vision FC with 36 points. Karela United with 35 points, Accra Lions with 35 points. These four teams, any team could be relegated with 3 games left. Which team do you think will be joining Legon Cities and Nsawatreman FC?
Boss, before I continue, it's very sad seeing Accra Lions where they are this season. They are one of the sides that they play football to a certain pattern and a certain tune that you realize that they are not just on the pitch playing, but they've rehearsed very well.
Yeah.
And the kind of talent they've produced in the last 2 seasons, only for the Ghana Premier League, those who have been able to don the jerseys for the Wafu Zombie team, those who have been able to don the jersey for the Black Galaxies. And today, they are struggling. Even in their struggling state, they have quality players that they can still play for all the clubs in the Ghana Premier League. So seeing them there, and the sad story for Accra Lions as we speak is that Nsawatreman are already gone. Legon Cities are already gone. That the last club battling the relegation with the top 3 clubs from the bottom. And if you look at their fixtures remaining, they'll be playing against BBN Gold Stars on the last match day.
Yeah, difficult one.
And that game could be a title decider for BBN Gold Stars or the relegation battle game for Accra Lions. If their match week 32 games don't channel out how they want, that game will be a crucial game. And imagine when the club wants to survive relegation and then a club wants to win the Ghana Premier League, which of these options weighs more? So last night it was surprising to see Hearts of Oak beat Lions by 3-1. I wasn't expecting that score line.
Lions actually collapsed in the final 10 minutes because they were really good until that final 10 minutes. You look at the way they started, especially the second half against Accra House of Oak. They actually played very, very well. But like you said, it will be sad to see them go because of their style of play. But then you think from
what I've seen, and also the opponents that they'll be facing, they might be going, because Hearts of Lions will be playing against Young Apostles. So with the standings as we speak, Hearts of Lions are chasing the Ghana Premier League. Even if Hearts of Lions beats
Young Apostles
are playing their match week 32 game, they will still be having 37 points. Lions have already played their match with 32 games and they are with 35 points. So the remaining 2 games will be the decider. Fine, the remaining 2 games for Young Apostles will be played between Karela United, and as we speak, Karela United are not battling for the Ghana Premier League title.
But then Karela United are also in the relegation zone. So it makes it quite interesting.
So Karela United are with 38 points.
Yes.
It is very tricky, but for me, your remaining 2 games will be the determiner.
Yeah.
But Accra Lions will be facing the difficult sides. They'll be playing against Dreams FC. And if you look at Dreams FC, they have 43 points, lying 9 from the Ghana Premier League. That could be the game that I think there's not so much at stake for Dreams FC. So Lions might win. Fine, Lions should win that game. Young Apostles will be playing their final game against Bechem United, where Bechem United, as we speak, are also not battling for even top 6 spots. So Dreams, let's imagine this. Dreams will be given 3 points to Lions. Young Apostles will be taking their 3 points from who? Bechem United. Still, Lions will be down there.
So, okay, so these are the games for Karela United. Karela United will be playing their first of relegation battle against Vision FC today. Vision FC wants to survive. So, in case Vision FC beats Karela United,
Karela will go down.
Karela will still have their 38 points because of their Nswatreman game. Now, again, Karela United will now play Young Apostles in their next game. Young Apostles are
also
still not
relegation.
Out. So, if Karela United ends up losing those 2 games, Accra Lions win against Dreams FC. And in the Ghana Premier League, there is the head-to-head scenario.
Yes.
If Accra Lions beats Dreams FC, what it means is that Accra Lions have a better head-to-head against Karela United. So it will be interesting. I think the Ghana Premier League, a lot of people have taken off their attention on the Ghana Premier League. But then it's been one of the most competitive seasons for some time now. And it's becoming very, very interesting. It's sad to see that the Accra teams are struggling. But then for the sake of time, we would have to move away from the Ghana Premier League. But then, again, let me just run you through the matches that will be coming up this weekend. Yesterday, Accra House of Oak defeated Accra Lions by 3-1. And the other games coming up this week, we'll see Kumasi Asante Kotoko play BBN Gold Stars. Nations FC will also be up against... let me just go through these games for you this morning. But then, after that game, there will be the English... We'll move to England, the Europa League, where there will be matches... where it's come to a conclusion. Well, so the games that will be coming up in the Ghana Premier League tomorrow, Adriana Stars will be facing Legon Cities. BBN Gold Stars will be up against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Vision FC will play Karela United. Nations FC against Samatex. Dreams FC versus Brekum Chelsea. Young Apostles play Heart of Lions. And Bechem United will be up against Baseke Holy Stars. Well, on Wednesday, Tottenham Hotspurs defeated Manchester United to be crowned winners of the 2024-2025 Europa League. Manchester United would not be playing in Europe next season, and Manchester United will finish this season in either 16th or 17th position, which is quite surprising. It is the worst season for Man United for a very long while. Since the post-Fergie era, this is the worst United have performed in the league. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't compensate that with the Europa League. But Tottenham Hotspur, on the other hand, will be celebrating because they will be playing in the UEFA Champions League next season. Now, let me come to you, Marvin. Did you see this happening, Man United and losing the Europa League to Tottenham Hotspur?
Well, I honestly didn't see this happening, but I felt like there was too much of overconfidence on United's side. Why am I saying that? For Tottenham Hotspur, I'm very excited on their part that for 17 years they've been able to win something. Heung Son-min came from Bayern Leverkusen, and it's been 10 years since he came, and this is his first trophy.
Yeah.
So it's a nice thing to see he and Kane winning a trophy. Back to what I'm saying. To me, I didn't really see this coming, but United were a bit too overconfident. Why do I say that? Because they had a very good run, and they hadn't lost any game prior to the final. The final was the only game they lost in the whole of the Europa League season. And the way they qualified out of the group, they had a very excellent run. They drew just, I think, 2 games. They drew 20. Their first 2 games they drew. Then they won all their matches, 2 to the final. So with the stakes and performance and form, comparing both of them on paper, United looked very good on a fine side. With how they even took out Atletico Bilbao, very excellent game. At San Mamés, such a stadium like that, even Barcelona and Madrid go there to even go and struggle. Atletico Madrid even go there to go and struggle. And now it was very surprising that they beat them 3-0. Then they came to beat them 4-1 at home. It was a very nice comeback. Atletico Bilbao seemed very strong in that game in the first half, but the second half they fell down to Manchester United. So they were very, very excellent, but I just don't know what happened in the final. So I think that on the part of United fans, I understand why they were a bit overconfident. But to me, I honestly didn't see this coming. But, well, it wasn't to be. But all in all, it was a good game, and Tottenham deserved it. Well, and looking at Tottenham's run to the final too, it wasn't so good. I was very surprised that they even took out Frankfurt, because in their first leg, their game was very poor. They didn't really... The first leg at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Even the second leg, it was just...
Frankfurt were just missing chances.
Missing chances, exactly. They were firing. I even thought they would equalize and take Tottenham out, but it wasn't to be. And then that's Dominic Solanke penalty took them out.
Yeah.
When they met Bodo Glimt, that was the first ever Norwegian side to it. Bodo Glimt is another team that I rate so much high because of how their pitches. And I even thought they would fall to Bodo Glimt, but they did excellently well. And which brings me to what their coach always says: he always wins trophies in his second season.
Well, we'll definitely be talking about that coach. He's also added another one during their parade. But then let me come to you, Jonathan. What went wrong for Man United? I mean, yes, we know domestically they've had a very, very bad season. But then you look at them in Europe, like Marvin is saying, after those first 2 draws, they've had a winning run in the competition. And even under Ruben Amorim, it's been better when we look at the European games that they've played. I mean, brushing aside teams. The most difficult game was against Olympique Lyonnais, but they still managed to go through and then reach the final. Now, in the final, what really went wrong for them?
So, in the final, there are 2 main key things that actually bothered Manchester United on the day. And the first one will be coming from the dressing room. You see, ahead of the game, if you look at the lineup of both of the coaches, clearly you realize that Manchester United were not the better side, even on paper.
There was a bit of overthinking there.
Yeah.
So, to me, Ruben Amorim being the manager on the day, Europa League final, in a season where Manchester United have performed abysmally, very, very poor. Ahead of the final, they've already lost 19 games across all competitions. So this was one crucial game for Ruben Amorim to at least show some glimpse of glory in there, that he has something to prove. Already, in his first 5 fixtures for Manchester United, we all agreed that he is just playing a good system, but the players available are not good. And in this world, you don't get everything perfectly well as you wish. So as a coach, you have to be pragmatic. As a coach, you have to know how to vary your tactics to suit the players that you have at the moment. Because no one will forgive Ruben Amorim for what he did in San Mamés against Tottenham Hotspurs. Manchester United fans can't forgive him. So this was the lineup ahead of the game. This season, last season, the only manager in the English Premier League to play high line, to play football on that high note was Ange Postecoglou. It got to a point he was being criticized and he said this is his style of play and this is what he knows. These are coaches who are too idealistic that they believe in their tactical ideologies that they will never change. But even in the final, Postecoglou played the system of Pedro Porro, Christian Romero, Mickey van der Van, Udogie, and in the midfield,
And
it was
last season he won 7 games in a row. His first 7 games.
Yes. So he played Pape Matassa, Bissouma, and Bentancur. These 3 players in the midfield have the same profile. Forget their passing abilities. They are all aggressive in the midfield.
In fact, their passing ability is not good.
Pape Matassa,
they are workaholics.
Bissouma, they are workaholics.
Yeah.
They went into the game as the engine for Tottenham Hotspurs in the midfield. So as Manchester United, the only thing to do against a workaholic midfield without defense splitting ball passes, you have to match the same energy of your opponent. But they went in there with, to me, fringe players. This whole season, United fans can't tell me that Mason Mount has been part and parcel of this club. He's never. He's coming from injury. He had successful games in the English Premier League and 1 game against Athletic Bilbao. And all of a sudden, Amorim fits him in the final against a highly defensive Ange Postecoglou midfield trio. And we saw it. Udogie was part of the midfield. So Luke Shaw, who is also one player who was lingering with injury. Luke Shaw was never fit for Manchester United. But all of a sudden, in the last 3 weeks, he earns himself in the final, the crucial game for Manchester United, the game that will decide their season. Either they will be playing in the Champions League to at least give the team an appealing look during the transfer window in the summer. They lost it. So to me, the lineup alone was not the best for Ruben Amorim. 2, exactly, you just gift it on the silver platter. And it was too clear that 50-50 balls, Bissouma was killing himself. And this is where I'll bring the second point. The first point, to me, tactically, Amorim was not up to the game as Ange Postecoglou masterminded it. 2, even if you're a fringe player, 1, you are being paid weekly. So on the pitch, on the field of play, you have to let even your fans feel that you are playing for the badge. That desire and hunger to win was not even there for Manchester United. And it was clear. The only player who was balling in and out for Tottenham Hotspurs, I can get even their all 11. Cuti Romero was not fit. We saw it in the game. He'll go down, he'll go up. But he was the only reliable man that Ange Postecoglou saw. He didn't risk him. He still played him. We saw Mickey van der Van without clearance. Meanwhile, there was Manchester United that Mason Mount and Rasmus Højlund were playing as if they are playing against themselves. You see, sometimes to be a footballer and a professional footballer, you have to understand, even if you are not up to task, you do some things on the pitch for your coach and even the fans to say, we lost the game, but this guy won our hearts. Ghanaians will relate to this very well. Our poor run at the AFCON in Cameroon, Ghanaians were hailing Daniel Kofi Chire. Even though we were so poor that we hesited in the group stages.
I mean, I can also
you see, it's all about the passion these guys shows on the pitch.
Well,
and to me,
you talk
Bissouma
about that.
was just full of passion. Even Richarlison de Andrade, who is coming back from mental trauma, was balling with his heart. Where Rasmus Højlund?
So you think that Man United players didn't really?
There's no culture.
I mean,
the desire to win, the passion, playing for that badge. These are guys who don't understand the magnitude of wearing the jersey of being a Red Devil.
Well, so it means that the players at United are wrong.
No.
All right.
They are mismatched to the identity of United.
You spoke about Ruben Amorim having his selection wrong. So this is what Ruben Amorim actually said after that defeat to Tottenham Hotspurs.
The job, we have to deal with that, and we have to try to explain the people the feeling of the dressing room. We are obviously devastated with this loss. We lost 1 game in this competition. We didn't win it in the last game. I think if you look at the whole game, we were the better team. But in the end, if you don't score goals, you cannot win matches.
Well, so that was Ruben Amorim speaking after that defeat to Tottenham Hotspur. Well, he is not leaving the club. I understand reports in England suggest that the management of the club will be backing him next season. And so for fans of Man United, maybe the problem is not really Ruben Amorim. But then let me bring Teddy in now. Teddy, I mean, you look at everything that happened. Would you be blaming Ruben Amorim as the coach, or you blame the players for not showing up on that day?
Oh yeah, I'll blame both the coach and the players.
Okay.
Because first of all, with the absence of Wang Song somehow in the final, Kulusevski and there is Maddison.
Yeah.
And Manchester United not being able to capitalize on this absence of these three players just like
Son actually played.
Yeah, kind of, but from the first half we didn't see him.
Yeah.
He came in the second half. So with these three key players, maybe except Son not making an impact or not appearing for Tottenham, that showed how poor United were. And when you are coming into a final, you know, finals are won, finals are not played, finals are won. Jonathan already spoke about the lineup. How came Mason Mount was able to, you know, enter the first 11? Where was Manuel Ugarte? Your best passer or the most creative player for you on that day was being deployed to play the central midfield, which was Bruno Fernandes. So I am happy they lost. I am very much happy Manchester United lost, because if they had won this trophy, you know, there are a lot of issues going on at Manchester United. They are going through a lot which they have to tackle. So if they had won this trophy, to me, this trophy would have covered the horrors on the ground. And now that they've lost, there is no Champions League football. There is no Europa League football. You are only playing in the Premier League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. You are only playing the domestic games. So this is the time for them to go back and draw their structure very well for future seasons coming. So they lost in the finals. Jonathan already spoke about the passion of the players. The confidence level on the pitch was very down. We didn't see determination. The Tottenham guys on that day were just disciplined. They were up to task. They were focused, and that was what fetched them the results. So congrats to Tottenham, but sorry for Manchester United.
Well, I mean, sorry for Man United. Talking about sorry for Man United, one of their players, Luke Shaw, actually apologized to the fans of the clubs after that defeat to Tottenham, and this is what he had to say after that game.
I think the fans, we're going to understand that, you know, right now they're, of course, going to be annoyed, not happy, and rightly so. But all I can say is thank you so much for the support. I think, you know, everywhere we go, you know, including where we are in the table, the results we've had this year, they've always still been you know, and like I can only say, firstly, thank you so much for your support, and secondly, we're very sorry, you know, for what they've had to go through this season.
Well, the players are sorry to fans of Manchester United. Now, there was one player who actually established his disappointment after that game, and it was Alexandro Garnacho. Well, so Garnacho said after that game that up until the final, I played every round helping the team, and today I play 20 minutes. I don't know, the final will influence my decision, but the whole season, the situation of the club, I'm going to try to enjoy the summer and see what happens afterwards. Now, working as no one else, helping every round, coming from 2 goals in the last 2 finals, just to be on the pitch for 90 minutes and get thrown under the bus. That was also from the brother of Alexandro Garnacho. So massive disappointment from Garnacho. But then, Marvin, do you think that Garnacho, I'm coming, let me go to Marvin first. Do you think that he was right to actually come out and then, you know, fume just for playing 90 minutes? Because if you listen to Ruben Amorim after that game, he says that the reason why he didn't start Garnacho is that in that game against Atletico Madrid, he had a very good chance and then he missed it. And then Mason Mount comes in, takes his chances until he felt that, look, Mason Mount had done well in the semi-final, so why not start with him? And so that was the explanation from...
You see, my point is that the point that he got it all wrong is the fact that he had to overthink in the final. From the beginning of the Europa League, who has been making the numbers and who has been a playmaker? You take the games from 20, the game against Bodo Glimt, their game against Rangers, their game against, after Rangers, then they went away to FCSB. Then they went to Real Sociedad. All those games, check and compare Garnacho's performance to Mason Mount's performance. Mason Mount was only fielded just in the semi-final. Just a one-game wonder to me. Look at that game against Lyon. Who came up? All the games continuously. I understand his point, and he really made a good point by filming at that. Comparing all his games, the Lyon game, that game that they almost went out and they had a comeback. That was the quarter-final. Then in the semi-final, that was what you could say. You could argue that Mason Mount made he had a very, very good game. That was just in the second half, right? The game that they won 4-1. But to me, Garnacho has a very, very, very good point here. And I honestly I don't understand why he should have just overthought. The same thing happened to Pep Guardiola back in 2021, where he just overthought, and City had a chance to win their first Champions League back in 2021, and God being so good, they won it in 2023. So I think that over here, he has a very, very good point over here. So and I feel like...
But then as a player, don't you think that there are other ways of, establishing your disappointment rather than going to the media and then fume?
Oh yeah, look man, with that's why there's always a traditional media. The traditional media being a footballer is all about your temperaments and predicaments. That's what everybody knows you for. What do we know Jose Mourinho for? What do we know all those coaches for? You understand?
But they are coaches.
Exactly. What like some notable footballers who really film all the time to the media, what do we know them for? I can use, who can I even use as an example? Kevin De Bruyne, what do we know him for? Right? So it's understandable that he can express his frustration. And I understand them because there was a lot expected of United. And there's so much around the club. 19 games continuous in the whole season. And they just had one game, one chance just to save their season. If they, just as Jonathan said, if they had qualified for the Champions League, one way or the other, their fans would have forgotten some things that's going on in the club. And now this loss is now the straw that broke the camel's back. And now so many things, everything is just so going wrong for them. Just imagine if they won the Europa League. Everybody would have forgotten everything that's happened. You understand? And I'm just imagining how they are even going to play their last game tomorrow. And I wonder how the boys are the boys are putting themselves together to play, because it's disheartening and very painful to have a very, very good run like this. You not win. You win every match just to lose just one game in the final. Tottenham, I think, lost 2 games.
Yeah.
And as compared to United, their run wasn't even so good as compared to United. So it's very painful. So I understand him. And I back him for doing that. It's really, really painful. It can get frustrating at some point.
For me,
before I let you come in, so there's been similar incidences in recent times. We've seen what happened between Jadon Sancho and Erik ten Hag. Before Jadon Sancho and Ten Hag, there was also Ronaldo and Ten Hag, still with Man United, and then there's also Paul Pogba and then Jose Mourinho. So it tells you that something has really changed at United in recent times. But then, Teddy, you were trying to come in. I mean, what do you think about this whole situation?
I understand Garnacho because he was speaking for himself based on the performances he had in the season. But to me, I disagree. Why do I disagree?
You disagree with his approach?
Yeah, I disagree with the approach. You are a senior brother here, Mr. Lukman. History has it. I think in 1999, before the UEFA Champions League final, when Manchester won against Bayern Munich, it's on record that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was having a good number of games in that season. But in the final, he didn't start. In 2019, when Tottenham defeated Ajax, in the second leg of the semi-final, Lucas Moura stood up. But in the final against Liverpool, he never started the final. And we never had any complaint after or post-match that Lucas Moura came, hitting hard at Pochettino then. So why would Garnacho have this come out at this time? And I think this kind of thing distracts the team's momentum. At least they have a final game to play against Aston Villa, even though they've lost the Europa League finals. But I think they have a game to go collectively as a team. So coming out to say this, I think he got it wrong.
Well, so Garnacho got it entirely wrong with his approach to establishing his frustration. But then one player who could believe in Manchester United is their captain, Bruno Fernandes. Now, he will be given a deadline of next week to decide if he wants to leave the club, with Al Hilal set to offer around £100 million for the Portugal international, who would earn around £65 million a year in Saudi Arabia. So the Saudi people are coming in hard for Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes. Well, Fernandes was also unhappy after that game against Tottenham, and this is what he had to say.
No, it doesn't change anything. Our season was bad, and it won't change by the fact that we lost. Obviously, winning will give a little bit of something bright, of something positive to the season, but won't change that our season was very negative.
Well, so that was Bruno Fernandes speaking after that defeat to Tottenham Hotspur. Now, the question is, Jonathan, should Manchester United allow Bruno Fernandes leave?
To me, no.
Okay.
And the reason is he's 30 years of age. And if you look at that Manchester United squad this season, although it has been poor for them, but he's the only symbol of leadership in that squad. There's no leader there. Not even Harry Maguire. We know who Maguire is. He comes in good sometimes and goes in off. We know Onana, even during the game. So these are guys that we expect them to, up their game because they've been to different clubs at top levels. But it seems Bruno Fernandes is the last symbol of leadership. And even this season, they're having a poor run. But he's the last person that you can point and say he's doing fantastically well for Manchester United. So to me, having such a player in a team that won't be competing in Europe next season. So during the summer, what's even that advantage for Manchester United that they will attract even some good players to join the side, unless they focus on some championship deals, unless they are able to at least psych some of their players who are on loan to come back to play for the club. And as we speak, if Bruno Fernandes is to leave Manchester United today, the team is left with kids and underperformers, people who can't be leaders.
But then there's Casemiro.
No. We know Cassie, his best days was at Real Madrid. Casemiro, his demeanor and everything shows that clearly he's just part of the team. He's just part of the team. And to me, Ruben Amorim knows very well that the clause of joining Manchester United, the now or never, that he joined was not the best. But if even I'm the one in his shoes, I would have at least done the same thing. Because the now or never ship, if you want to coach United, then you have to come now, leave Sporting mid-season, and then join Manchester United. And he's facing the consequences. So the person who even appointed Amorim knows very well that he can't sack Amorim today. Because if you sack him, it won't go well for you. So to me, during the summer, they have to try their possible best. Go onto the market, get some players, and maintain that man who was playing under Amorim that we saw the best out of him in Bruno Fernandes. Keep him to be the last symbol of leadership. For me, if he is there, he's committed. If he is there, 30 years of age, the sad thing is that he has to know that there are two things. Either you leave to find silverwares and peace somewhere, or you stay to make yourself a huge name at United. During their turbulent era, they can fall on who? Bruno Fernandes. It is very sad that in the final game, where we expected him to be that guy, the coach didn't put him where he will excel. Because playing Bruno that deep was not the best option. Leaving Ugarte and Kobe Manu on the bench. I have questions for Amorim. He should maintain Bruno Fernandes. And it's very sad that ahead of the summer, already the club making a statement that we will listen to offers for all the players. Do you know what it means, boss? Manchester United at the moment now have lost the bargaining power for their own players. So even there's a talent in there, who is good?
I think listening to offers doesn't mean that they've lost the bargaining power. They still have the power to. So what it means
they'll listen to the offer.
What it means is that they don't trust their players.
Exactly. So what would be the signal for a different club to spend even 50 million euros, 40, on Manchester United players, knowing very well that the club wants to get rid of that player.
Of that player, sure.
Well, I mean, there are players that have left Man United and excel. So it's not that the players are not good. Maybe the system is not good for them. So it is not. There will be clubs that will be interested in
clubs
buying
will
those
come.
players. Because
but
look,
what I'm saying
I can
here
make
is
a clear example with the McTominay thing.
Yeah, Mark.
I mean, it was a divided opinion thing at United. There were people who thought McTominay should have not left. There were people who thought, okay, it is time for him to leave. And so there will be clubs that will be coming. Napoli thought they had to go in for him.
Yeah. So my point here is Manchester
For example,
United.
even
now.
Real Betis with Anthony.
Yeah. So
Aston Villa with Marcus Rashford.
Of course.
So these are guys that the Marcus Rashford deal. He's no more with United, right? At Manchester United, he's still with United. But at the moment, he's not playing for Manchester United. McTominay, the money that they paid for him, is it that huge?
Yeah. So they will be if they decide to sign him at the end of the season. They will be playing for. They will be paying £40 million, which of course is a profit to United. Because Marcus Rashford is an academy player.
Going into the summer. One thing Amorim has to understand is that Manchester United will not splash money to give him even up to 5 players during the summer. It will be very difficult for United to sign up to 5 players. Why? Because as we speak, the club is trying to cut cost. I'm saying this because if even their owner, Ratcliffe, will be criticizing their players that some of them are no good, he understands it very well. I heard news and rumors that Onana is not performing so well, so they should go in for Emiliano Martinez. And then you ask yourself, going in for Emiliano Martinez, will he leave that UEFA Champions League slot with Aston Villa and then join Manchester United? The question now is, Ruben Amorim has something to preserve to at least make Manchester United attractive ahead of the summer.
Yeah, so
as we speak, even Liam Delap for Ipswich is checking office.
With that point, I don't agree with Jonathan because United is always an attractive.
Man, Liam Delap, Liam Delap today is listening to different offers from Newcastle and Chelsea because he is weighing UEFA Champions League option.
Liam Delap, who has never even played in a big club before, will not stay to come to United, even though United is not even a champion.
Of course, I agree with that.
He knows that after this season, it
can
be that they can qualify, right? You can be that they can qualify, and because the point you are making, I don't really agree with you because a player like that will have United as a very big club going up.
United listening to different offers.
Let me just put it this way.
So you think United will not be playing in Europe? Let me
pose this question. Do you think that Liam Delap is a UEFA Champions League playing player?
To me, no.
He's not got there. So why would he say he wouldn't be joining United because of European football?
These are guys.
No, that's the question. You are the one who
you're the one who made the point. Exactly.
No. The reason I'm saying this is that you see a championship player, someone who plays for Ipswich, have the guts today to listen to different offers. Why? Because he's weighing better options. And United is not that better option.
It's your opinion.
We have to accept this. You see, we want to call Liam Delap that he's not up there. But United today is not attractive for even Liam Delap.
No one is even it's your own opinion. You're arguing your own opinion. He's not a better.
No, but United is not attractive anymore.
No. United is not attractive to you. It's not attractive to you. It's always attractive to different players.
Look. United has United has been poor for some time now. Yes. But when Rafael Varane decided to leave Real Madrid, he wanted to come to United. In fact, after no. You see, yeah, of course. Look, no, it's not
Zlatan, a couple of them, Casemiro.
Were they playing the Champions League?
Of course.
But today, next season, will they be playing the Champions League?
No, but you see, you'll be wrong when you.
My point is that a player like Liam Delap grew up watching Manchester United,
Yeah.
and he'll be very excited to be a part.
You
of
are the ones. Do you know when? Do you know Kieran McKenna? Do you know his coach?
Wait. I want you to find me where Liam Delap said he.
No. What I'm saying is that the reason why I'm saying this is that this is a guy that he's coached. Kieran McKenna. Hope you know Manchester United is after him.
Come back again. That you're arguing your opinion.
I'm not arguing your opinion.
Said that he's not okay with the club. I rather argue your opinion.
The reason why I'm saying this is that their coach Kieran McKenna says they know United after him, but they are listening to different offers.
No, so it's not the player. It is Kieran McKenna's coach that you are using. It could be the club
they've allowed the player to listen to different offers.
No. You see, no. You are getting it wrong. So they are saying that the club are listening to different offers. It's not the player.
You know Chelsea are in the race for Delap.
Yeah, there are so
even Newcastle are in the race for Delap.
It would also shock you to see that at the end of the season we might end up seeing Liam Delap playing in the championship, and none of these clubs will go in for him.
That's my point.
So it is.
And to me, you choose to play in the championship that join United.
No. That's wrong. That is totally wrong. That is totally wrong. I mean, you see, that's why I wanted. That is why I wanted you to. You see.
I just wanted to make a point that last season.
No.
Wait. Last season, Chelsea were not competing in Europe, right?
Look.
We were here during the transfer window. That most of their players will be targeting UEFA Champions League football.
Right, so
you know there are some big guys today who won't join Manchester United. Why? All of a sudden we want to do away with the fact that if a big club is not competing in Europe, it will not go well for him in the transfer window because it's a big club. Why are we going there?
No. You see, maybe I don't know. You are trying to conflict yourself in making that argument. Look, United, in as much as they've been very poor, United is one of the biggest clubs in the world. Wait, I'm coming. Look, at this particular moment, United can pull moves that Barcelona, that has won even a treble, domestic treble, cannot. Because financially, they are not there. United have struggled in recent times, even financially. But are still that club that can pull. I remember when Ibrahimovic, Paul Pogba, and the rest were coming. United were not playing European football, but they still came. And then they weren't playing in the UEFA Champions League. But then they came and then won the Europa League. That should tell you, exactly. That should tell you that I'm not. You see, there are managers that can pull strings. It's when it comes to transfer, it's not just about the club alone. Sometimes even the coach himself can make some moves. Look, let me tell you, if Gyökeres wants to come to United, it will be because of Ruben Amorim, because he's worked with him before, and it won't be a difficult decision for him to make. United, look, in as much as they've had their flaws, to say they won't be able to attract players, they have that.
They will attract, but not that big guys.
No, but it's
so you'll be chasing Delap. Then
my question is Delap a big player?
No.
So why are you telling me that he?
I was just giving United? You see. So with the points, that you just made, I was trying to say that if Manchester United, since they won't be competing in Europe, it is actually not a plus for the club ahead of the transfer window.
No, for that one is established. That's what I'm saying. No, but then you're saying
the example I made is that even Liam Delap today is considering different clubs. Why?
No, but then where did Liam Delap say this?
So if Manchester United are standing in that good position.
You are just contradicting
yourself.
No.
My point here is
you did say that Liam
today.
First, you made a statement that Liam Delap was the one who said it. Now
they said the player is listening to different offers from different clubs with better options.
No.
Yes, he's the one who's filling out at the pre-match conference that the player is listening to offers from different clubs. And I'm saying that the United that we know, if United are standing in a better position today, there is no way Delap will be thinking twice.
My problem is that you stated that McKenna is the one who said
that the player
and now you are
is listening to different offers. And I'm saying that
the club
let's move away from that one.
Says that the player no. The club says that the player is listening to different offers.
No.
That's what the coach said. That their player is listening to different offers. And my question to you, and United fans, is that
saying their coach says that he's listening to different offers, that is totally wrong, because the coach has no influence in Liam Delap's next move. The coach
I agree with that.
So it is the club that has a role to play in where
I agree with
Liam
that.
Miller. So how is it that
aside
their
the
coach
money,
will come
aside
out
the
there?
money?
And
So
you see,
I just made an example. I just mentioned the player's name.
The funny thing is that Mike Akran himself wants to be part of that Man United team because he's worked with them before, he's been there before, and he was even considered at one point as one of the people that would return.
I agree.
Exactly.
So my point,
Exactly.
you see, my point here was that I just made mention of a player's name, Delap, and I agree with the points that you people are giving
But
me.
then
That
if
maybe
there
fine.
is any
So
player,
my point is that. Do you think Manchester United ahead of the summer not playing in Europe, it is giving them that better chance to get
already
players? That's what I'm saying.
but you see, we've already established.
And it won't make the club attractive to some players.
The track is always attractive. From time
Manchester United today,
from 20 years time,
it is never true.
Growing up, we all knew when you're even playing PlayStation, we all knew that Manchester United is a big club. It's a decorated club.
That's what you are.
In any situation, Manchester United is always attractive to all players. In any situation, even if Manchester United are in the championship, it's always attractive to every team. United is always attractive. It's the most successful aside Liverpool. It's the most successful.
You know the transfer window last 2
aside
seasons.
Liverpool, United is the most successful.
History.
Wait,
United is attractive, but not to all players.
Attractive to every single player.
Wait. You see. I mean, we are trying.
All of a sudden.
Wait. Relax. We are trying to establish something here. Look, let's just take the Europa League for example. Look, the Europa League this season has had a lot of mentions and has been more interesting, has gathered a lot of conversation. In fact, these are not from me, my point, but then these are the numbers from Europe. The Europa League has been more interesting, has had more viewership than even the UEFA Champions League this season. And it's because of Man United. Exactly. So you can't tell me that because they are struggling, they are not attractive. Yes, they are not attractive as they used to be. But then United still has that influence. That's what I'm saying. No. You see, Jonathan is saying that it's become so bad that
it's so bad today.
No.
It's so bad.
No.
United season.
From the way
It's not that bad. You are making it look so bad, and it's not that bad.
No, it's very bad.
I'm telling you that forget European trophies. United is always attractive.
Look, what you are saying
from the time of 1999, from the time of Dwight York,
what you are saying,
it's okay.
From the time of Andy Cole to Dwight York to this time, United has always been attractive.
Hope you know that what you are saying. I'm not disputing what you are saying because they are fine.
Anyways, I've muted your mics. Anyways, look, the thing is, you see, if we are trying to make these conversations, we have to be very factual as well. Look, just because United is struggling, like I keep on saying, doesn't mean that they don't pull. They pull a lot. And we've seen that even with the Europa League. Anyways, let's just move away from that. There will be games in the English Premier League. The fight for the top four continues. But then this week, Mohamed Salah has been voted the English Premier League player of the season. And he's been speaking about his chances of winning the Ballon d'Or. I don't know if he will be winning the Ballon d'Or, but then he had this to say after he was awarded the best player in England.
I would say, I never had a season like this and winning big trophies. So this is, I would say, my best chance to get it right now while I'm in the club, because you just had that crazy season with the trophy. That's give me a good chance.
Yes, all right. So that was Mohamed Salah speaking after winning the Premier League Player of the Season award. And so Mohamed Salah is one of the players that could be in the running for the Ballon d'Or with regards to how the season ends up. But then, before we even continue with that conversation, there are messages that are coming in. And this one is coming in from Daniel Cranton from Medina Estate. He says that, good morning, Lukman and the guys. These are the players that should leave Man United. Luke Shaw, Alexandro Garnacho, Mason Mount, Rasmus Højlund, and Harry Maguire. Well, this one is also coming from Owusu Michael from Adenta. He says that I want Rasmus Højlund out, Rashford out, Garnacho out, Mason Mount out, Delight out. It looks like this guy wants the entire team out. So keep your messages coming via the WhatsApp line 0544321019, 0544321019. You can also join us on Facebook, ZFMGH, and then you can join the conversation. But then it is the English Premier League, and tomorrow is the final day of the competition. Well, so the final round of games in the English Premier League will be played tomorrow. AFC Bournemouth will be up against Leicester City, and of course, Antoine Semenyo will be hoping to end the season in style. Fulham will play Manchester City. Ipswich Town are up against West Ham United. Ipswich have already been relegated. Liverpool will play Crystal Palace in what could be the Community Shield for next season. Manchester United are up against Aston Villa. Newcastle United will be playing Everton. Nottingham Forest are up against Chelsea, and Southampton will be facing Arsenal in that final game. Tottenham Hotspur, the Europa League winners, they will be playing Brighton. Now Wolverhampton Wanderers will be facing Brentford. So ahead of the final games of the season, this is how the table looks. Well, we all know that Liverpool have won the league. Arsenal have also solidified their place in second position. Manchester City have 68 points. Newcastle United have 66 points. Chelsea have 66 points and are in fifth. They are in fifth place. Aston Villa also have 66 points and are in sixth place. Nottingham Forest have 65 points and are in seventh place. Interesting, Nottingham will be facing Chelsea in that battle for a Champions League place. The conversation will be around the Champions League places. So Manchester City, Newcastle United, Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Nottingham Forest are all fighting for a place in that top 5 slot. With Liverpool and Arsenal already confirmed, now let's look at the teams that can join Liverpool and Arsenal in that top 5 places. Now, Manchester City, they will be playing. They would be playing against So Manchester City will be playing against Fulham. Now let's pick them one by one. Fulham, Manchester City. Teddy, you look at that game. You think it's a done deal for Manchester City? They are playing on the road.
Yeah, with what is at hand, Manchester City need a 3 points. So I think they will just grab the 3 points.
I think they can still make it with a point. Manchester City.
Yes. Even with a point. So either a win or draw for them. I don't see them losing this game. Because for me, I feel they should be part of the teams that will be representing England in next season's Champions League.
You think it is a bet, right? They have to be in there.
Yes. They have to be in there. So I think they will make it. They will make it to the Champions League next season.
All right, the big one is that game between Nottingham Forest and Chelsea. Now, let me start with you, Marvin. Nottingham Forest still have a chance to qualify for Europe. They will be hosting Chelsea, who still also are in the running for a Champions League place. Well, Chelsea are currently 5th on the table. Nottingham Forest are 7th on the table. Who wins this one, and how important is this game for these teams?
For me, Forest and City are going to go through. Forest and City, because to me, momentum. All right,
we can establish that
Forest are going to beat Chelsea. Why do I say that? At the beginning of the season, Nottingham Forest, they are the only team to have beaten Liverpool. Before Liverpool, we lost our 2 games earlier in the season.
In fact,
they started excellently well. And why do I say so? It got to a point they started losing games and dropping games. And this game is more, they are treating this game more or less like a title decider. I think the game is at City Ground.
Yes,
right?
City Ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with how noisy that stadium is, I think Chelsea, to me, Chelsea might win the UECL. If they win, it will be okay for them to qualify to the Europa League. It won't even mean anything, because if they end maybe set off it still won't mean anything, because they will still go to the Europa League if they win the UECL championship. But to me, the momentum and everything and the firepower is behind Forest. And honestly speaking, I see Forest going to, and I want Forest to go to because it will be nice to see Nottingham Forest in the Champions League again.
Well,
Having won
they've won it, yeah.
That was in 1976 and 78 and 81. I beg your pardon. Exactly. So it will be very excellent to see Forest over there. And I like the way their owner Mariano Cos. I don't think I'm getting the name right. I like
Evangelos
the way,
Marinakis.
Exactly, Marinakis, the Greek man. I like the way he's behind the team, always giving them firepower and encouraging the boys. And by far, this has been Forest's most excellent season coming in the Premier League since 2021. It has been their excellent season. And there was even a season that they signed over 30 players. 30 players. And it has been excellent, and it has paid off. So, honestly speaking, I see Forest winning this game. If they win, they'll finish third, right?
They win.
That's if they win. So, for Forest, there's no need to... They need a win. Exactly. And I see Forest winning this game.
Well, you talk about momentum, and these are the games that Chelsea in the last 5 games have won 4 and then lost only 1. Nottingham Forest, interestingly, have won 2, drawn 2, and then lost 1. So I think the momentum is rather with Chelsea. But then, Jonathan, that's the same game. For Marvin, he thinks that Nottingham Forest will still find a way to win that game, especially playing at the City Ground. Do you agree with him that Nottingham would nick it through?
I think Nottingham Forest stand a bigger chance, but we can't ignore Enzo Maresca's Chelsea side and how they are maneuvering their way back into the top 5 here, because Chelsea have only scored 7 of their 28 away league games goals this season against sides currently 13th or higher. So from the top 6, top 10, whenever Chelsea meets them, they are able to find a goal. They are able to score. And the good thing they have to do is get a goal at the City grounds. The sad thing is they can't defend. Chelsea can't hold on to the goal against Nottingham Forest. Because this season, if you want to talk about a club that won't enjoy possession, all they do is transitional play. It's Nottingham Forest in the English Premier League. They don't care about possession. All they care about is just move the ball forward. The Morgan Gibbs, these are talents that Chelsea will be battling against. But I see that game being a draw. That game will be a draw, because in their last 5 matches, Chelsea have managed to win only 2, whilst Nottingham Forest won draw in the 2 games was also ended in a draw. So to me, this is a crucial game for them. But if you look at the standings, Arsenal, Liverpool are up there. Man City and Newcastle will join Aston Villa, making the 5. So Chelsea and Nottingham Forest are battling for the 6th and the 7th slot. Because Aston Villa will be demolishing Manchester United. That's the probability. Higher. Because United, I don't know the push, the energy that they'll use to bounce back from that Europa League defeat. And with Aston Villa, they want to play UEFA Champions League next season, and they'll be playing against United. A side that clearly they've lost their energy, they've lost their morale. So to me, Nottingham Forest and Chelsea, that game will be crucial, and that game will determine either Enzo Maresca will be playing the UEFA Champions League next season. But I see a draw at the City Ground.
And for me, if Maresca fails to win tomorrow's game, I don't see him surviving the Chelsea job next season.
Well, I mean,
yes,
so
because
some few weeks ago, the managers of Chelsea came out to say that they will be backing Maresca regardless of making it for the UEFA Champions League or not.
Oh, but they made this guy
Pochettino.
This guy when Porter came.
Graham Potter.
I think they made that noise that they will not.
Yeah, but
when the fans,
but then with Graham Potter, the results were totally not good.
Fine, they were totally not good, but this is the time.
But in this case, Chelsea are in the final of a European competition.
But fine. But this is the time Enzo Maresca must be asking himself that a team that was being a title contender at a point in time, you drew against Ipswich and you drew against Brentford. These were two crucial games that you should have at least won one. If you had won one, or even a Newcastle game, if he had drawn that game, Chelsea will not be where they are today. So tomorrow he has nothing than to win. Chelsea need a win. There is no draw, no somewhere. And looking at Chelsea's qualification in another way, it's not attractive to see Nottingham Forest playing in Champions League than Chelsea. Yeah, all respect given to them that they've won the UEFA Champions League on 2 occasions, but
Chelsea has also won it twice.
How attractive is it for a club? Like what point are you making?
No.
Because everyone plays football in the hope that they will qualify for European Championship one day. So why would you make a point that it's not attractive?
Nottingham Forest. They've grind out their results to be in that position.
Because they say Nottingham Forest, who won a Champions League before Chelsea, that was in 2011.
So I get his point.
You see,
sometimes the fan base.
Let me make a point here. I think you guys are abusing the word attractive. You should understand it before you use it.
Somehow,
because you can't say Nottingham Forest wouldn't be attractive in the UEFA Champions League. They've got some good history in the competition. Maybe they might not be the most fancied side in the competition, but to say they wouldn't be attractive in the competition. I mean, we've seen Aston Villa and we've seen what they are doing in the UEFA Champions League. In fact, teams like Paris Saint-Germain without history are even making it in the competition.
We Chelsea fans, we have this saying that anytime Chelsea is not playing in the Champions League, the Champions League is not Champions League. When Chelsea is there, you feel that yes, there is a team that is also playing the Champions League. You understand? So I see tomorrow Enzo Maresca, if he truly wants to qualify, he has to start winning the game from first half, or he has to avoid conceding first. Yes, that's how I say it. So tomorrow you just have to win the game so that Chelsea plays in. This game is even more important than the Conference League final to me.
Really?
Yes, to me. Okay. To me, he has to just win the game.
All right, there are some comments also coming in. This one says that good morning, Lukman and your squad. My name is James from Legon. The players that should leave the team are goalkeeper Andre Onana, his deputy Aute Bayinde, Mason Mount, Garnacho, and Luke Shaw. I'll be asking you guys to also give me your 5 players that will be leaving Man United. That is from James from Legon. He thinks that Onana and Bayinde should all leave the club. This one says that my name is Kwesi Yeboah from the Medina Polyclinic. Enjoying the show, but the guy who said United are not attractive may have a point, but they have the influence and what it takes to get any player that they want. These players should also be leaving Man United. Alejandro Garnacho, he should leave. Maguire should leave. Luke Shaw should leave. Andre Onana should leave. And Marcus Rashford, he shouldn't come back. some of you listeners, how can you say that Marcus Rashford should not come back? Well, talking about Man United, they will be facing Aston Villa tomorrow. Aston Villa are one of the teams fighting for a place in the UEFA Champions League next season. Now, let me begin with you, Jonathan. Aston Villa against Man United. Of course, Man United are deflated. Do you think that Aston Villa could take this opportunity and then, get that win and make it to Europe again?
Yeah, I think Aston Villa will beat them because United really need to salvage some pride at the Old Trafford. But so bad for them. Aston Villa have a better side, and the players are willing and they decide to qualify for the Champions League. Emiliano Martinez might be in the goalpost for his last game for Aston Villa. These are some, and I don't know. Rashford is available for this game.
No, he's not.
He can't play for yes. So they still have that squad that are determined to play well and qualify for the Champions League ahead of Manchester United's victory. That won't mean so much to the standings, but only pride to Old Trafford.
Okay. All right. So there is another message which is coming from Facebook. This one says, my name is Young Trapper. Keep the fire burning. Okay. And then there is Badrin Back Kofi. Manchester United should be relegated. I think I've read this already. Well, another team that is
Everton
hoping to, so another team that will be hoping to make it to the UEFA Champions League is Newcastle United. They will be playing Everton tomorrow. Teddy, you look at Newcastle United. I think they are one of the teams that could easily make it to the UEFA Champions League. Yeah, you look at their game against Everton. They are in third position. In fourth position, they are behind Manchester City, and they have 66 points. A draw could be enough for them to qualify for the UEFA Champions League. Do you think that they are up for that task?
Yes, because they've already qualified for the Champions League the moment they beat Chelsea.
Really?
Yes. So for me, yes, it's a done deal. Since they are playing at home, it's a done deal. Newcastle will qualify. And looking at the squad depth they have, I think they stand a chance, or it's good to see them in Europe. It's good to see them play in Europe. So I think they'll make the top 5 for England.
They are attractive for Europe, eh?
Yes, they are attractive for Europe. And and this is where I'll say, when we say Premier League is the best league, tomorrow's games like this are moments that justifies that yes, indeed, the Premier League is the most competitive and the best league in the world. Maybe they might not be winning so much European titles like the Spanish teams, but when it comes to the league itself, the kind of intensity and other things it provides, Premier League is simply the best league in the world.
So you think, for the competition for places in the UEFA Champions League, it makes it the most interesting or the most competitive league in the world? Well, yes. For most of the countries, for example, in Spain, the top 4 has already been decided. The teams that will play in Europe have also been decided. But then another team that is in contention to fight for a place in the UEFA Champions League tomorrow, or from England, will be, we've already mentioned Arsenal, Liverpool, we've spoken about Manchester City, we've spoken about Chelsea, and then Nottingham Forest. We've also looked at Newcastle United. Now, for United themselves, how do you think they will be finishing the season? I mean, let me just get this from you, Marvin. How does United pick themselves up after all these disappointments?
Well, it's very appalling that they have to meet Aston Villa at this time and stage, and Villa seem like a fine side to win this because Villa have something at stake. United, if they win or lose, there's nothing. It's nothing good. If they win or lose, it's just going to be pride, right?
Yeah.
Where they are, that's where they are. And Aston Villa, on the other hand, have a Champions League qualification at stake. So they are the ones who are going to really be. And looking at both of them on paper, I mean, losing 19 games all season and Villa this season, I mean, they almost even took out PSG. As compared to their game against Arsenal, you realize that Villa on the second leg, on the second half, put PSG in a tough situation. And at a point in time, I even felt like they could even take out PSG, right? They just needed one last goal, but it wasn't to be. So I think that Villa are in the best position to win this game, and I think they're going to beat United.
Well, I mean, we have some few minutes left. Think about your top 5. But then, before we go, the Unity Cup game between Ghana, Nigeria, Trinidad and Tobago, as well as Jamaica, it will be happening next week when the league is over. On the 28th, Ghana will be playing Nigeria. For Nigeria, they've released their squad for the games, but then there is no Alex Iwobi. There is also no Ademola Lookman. There is no Victor Osimhen. How do you think that will affect the quality of these games, Marvin?
As you said, this tournament is, I think last week you made mention that this tournament is just a test for the Nigerians, but we of Ghana, we didn't qualify for the CHAN. But I mean, it will not be any impact, because I think that this should be a tournament that the Nigerians should also give their local players some kind of a chance to test their legs and test their firepower and all that. So I don't think it will affect the tournament in any way, right? And I think there should be respect given to those kind of players too, because with the caliber and where they've got into, honestly, in all honesty, I stand to be corrected. I don't think that they should be associating themselves with tournaments like this, right?
Okay.
So, in all honesty, that no malice intended.
Okay.
Exactly. So that's my honest opinion.
It's
on
not
this.
an attractive tournament. Anyways,
I was telling you
the way you guys were using attractive, I had to. Anyways, your 5 players that should leave Man United.
1. Mason Mount.
Okay.
2. Victor Lindelof.
Okay. Yeah.
3.
About him.
Johnny Evans.
Okay.
4. Rasmus Højlund.
Okay.
5. Alejandro Garnacho.
All right, so that was from
for Johnny Evans. This one's already over. So I don't know.
So that was from Jonathan. Now,
Johnny Evans.
Wait. So
Johnny Evans, we all know he's already gone.
Yeah,
so I take Johnny Evans. I take Onana. I take Aitor Bayindi. That's 3, right? Number 4, Lindelof. Then number 5, I think Mason Mount.
Okay. Wait, so he said Bayindi and Onana. Meaning United during this summer will have to go.
But
for
then that was exactly what
Exactly.
James was saying here. So Teddy, your 5 players.
Yeah, so delete.
The light? Okay.
Yeah, delete Mason Mount, Harry Maguire, Evans, and for Højlund must be on the.
Also, you heard them. Those were the 5 players from Jonathan, Marvin, and Teddy. Unfortunately, that will be all time will allow us on the weekend sports rally this week. What Kofi has his 5 play. All right, give it to us before we leave.
Number 1, Andrew Onana. Number 2, Andrew Onana. Number 3, Andrew Onana. Number 4, Andrew Onana. Number 5, Andrew Onana.
Well, so Andrew Onana is on the list of a lot of people. But then it's been another exciting edition of the Sports Rally here on Z101.9 FM. Thank you very much for sending in your messages. It's been a very, very good one here. But then you can still enjoy our shows here on 101.9 FM. My name is Lukman Evergreen Momin. Have a very good day.